welcome to another episode of Your Way with Noe. My name is Noe, and today I cannot believe I was able to catch him on his busy schedule to get him on the show. But, ladies and gentlemen, with me, the drummer for the Blackheart Saints, Nate, the Animal Flores. How are you, man?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Or is it Nasty Nate,
Hey,
too?
whichever one, I get called different names all the time.
Dude, it's so you're busy touring, recording, you're doing crazy stuff. It's amazing that I was able to get you on the show.
Yeah, with COVID going on, touring has pretty much came to a halt, a strong halt. But
Mhm.
I know there's some bands touring right now, doing like little, I guess, smaller shows with social distancing and all that. Like, let's see, like next weekend, we're going to Houston, and
Mhm.
we're playing at a venue called Rockefellers, and they're doing it by like tables, and
Mhm.
where it's like 4 to 6 people, depending on what table you get and all that. So
Oh, okay.
definitely not a huge show, but I mean it is what it is with COVID, you know.
Yeah. So Nate, I wanted to just thank you for being on the show. And yes, let's get started with this like crazy conversation that I think we're gonna have.
Uh-oh.
Um I met you during our college days, and you've been just an awesome person to be friends with. But and you told me a little bit about how you started in music, but can you tell us, like, when the drums started, like when Nate picked up his first set of drumsticks?
Well, let's see. Back when I was in fifth grade, I actually started on guitar, which not a lot of people know that. Um, let's see, I wasn't like awesome at it, but because I got fat fingers, and so I mean more like a rhythm guitarist. But yeah, so I don't know if everyone has been through this, but when you from going from fifth grade to like middle school and sixth grade, I had to pick an elective, and basically, I didn't want to go the orchestra route. I didn't want to go the choir route, so I went the band route. And when I first went to like the orientation, they had like different instruments where we can choose, and believe it or not, I was actually gonna probably go with the trumpet, learn the trumpet
Really?
in middle school. Yeah, but I wanted to hit things, so I asked about the percussion, and so they had like a little mini tryout. It was actually pretty easy. They want to make sure if you can keep the tempo, which I was already learning that with learning guitar the prior year. But so long story short, I made it onto the percussion team, if you will. And I just started learning drums there in middle school, and got all the way to high school and tried out for drumline my freshman year and made it. So apparently, or according to the other people who were already there at Warren High School, they told me I was like one of the first freshmen to make drumline on the snare line.
Look at
That
that.
was, that was pretty nerve wracking. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how that started, and then it just all went downhill from there.
I remember you showing me a video, and I hope you still have it, where I think it was like homecoming or something, and you're playing, and back then you were rocking the long bangs and stuff.
Yeah,
That
that emo look.
yeah, the emo look that a lot of us were doing back then, and you were doing I think, what were you, tenors at that time?
No, no, I did the snare drum all 4 years.
Oh,
I wish I
uh,
could. That's crazy.
but you were on. It was crazy because you were like banging your head while playing. Like it was just like those one of those band songs that get hyped up, and
Um, yeah,
you could
yeah.
literally.
I think the one that I showed you was at one of the pep rallies that we did, and believe it or not, I don't know if it was that pep rally, but I remember one pep rally. I was getting into it pretty well, and I actually busted my lip on the harness that we were wearing.
What?
I mean, it wasn't bleeding that much, but it definitely hurt.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, So I remember that video a lot because it really shows that how you were like you get really into it when you're playing. It's crazy. Um, and so from there, when was the first time Nate Flores was part of a band?
Let's see. I think it was. Well, I don't think it was. It was in eighth grade. Actually, a bunch of us from band at in my middle school. We got together and I mean we're playing like screamo stuff. I mean, but our first show happened to be at the famous White Rabbit here in
Oh
San
man.
Antonio, and I mean we were like it was I don't know if it was like on a Friday or Saturday, but we were literally the first band to play, and the crowd was pretty much our parents. That was it. That's the only people that were there. Maybe the band that was playing after us, they were there too, but literally no people in the crowd at all. So that was pretty funny. But I mean, it was really cool to get on a big stage like that and
Mhm.
do our thing. I mean,
That's really
we were in middle school, so it was like awesome.
I get to play on a show.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Did you ever do like talent shows back in school days?
I actually no, I didn't. I didn't do any talent shows. Now, what we did do is in I mean, like in high school when I was on a drumline played at the talent show, but we were never really part of the talent show. Um, I don't know. I find it weird being part of like shows like that. It's just it comes down to politics a lot of the times instead of like
Mhm.
what really the talent is there that are performing. But I know my one of my old cover bands called Rockstar Riot. We actually tried out for America's Got Talent, but I
Oh
mean
wow.
we didn't get that far. But I mean
Mhm.
we still tried out. It was a good experience to be there.
It's fun, to try, just give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
we weren't getting our hopes up. We were just like, you know what? If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. But it's pretty cool to see everybody there, and it was cool. See all the production.
yeah, you get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Uh, Rockstar Riot was your band for most of college, right? From what I remember. Well,
Yes. Yeah. I mean, at least I think for like half of it, I believe
yeah,
it was like
but that
half.
was it was mostly like a cover band from what I remember.
Yeah, yeah. It was a cover band. Just played all around San Antonio, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We just played there, and then I left them, and that's when or a week later, Josh Ross from Blackheart Saints had messaged me, and I was like, this is perfect timing. And then that's when I joined Blackheart Saints, and again, we went on downhill from there.
It's crazy that how that timing ended up working out for you so well.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. It was great.
Was there a moment where you were like, damn, like within that 1 week where like, fuck, like where am I gonna play? Or like, oh,
I
you
mean,
had a plan kind of deal.
a part of me, I was like, you know what? Let me just enjoy this time off for a little bit, even though it was only like a week. But I mean, if I was like, if anything else comes up, like I'm gonna look into it. But
Mhm.
he Josh messaged me and we scheduled a like a practice date or no, actually we didn't schedule a practice date. He invited me to one of their shows in Austin at a place called Stubbs. And
Oh yeah, famous Stubbs.
yeah, yeah, dude, their barbecue is awesome. uh,
Yeah.
so he invited me to their show just to check it out, see if I like it. And me and my dad rode rode up there to Austin and Stubbs, and I mean, it was a really cool show to see what they can bring to the table, and rock and roll, like that's right down my alley.
How did that well, where did he find you? Did he ever explain that to you, or do you know how
Yeah, so he actually found me through mutual friends,
oh
two.
okay.
So I don't think you know who he is. Arturo Knight, like now he plays with Jessica, but he was a bass player in Rockstar Riot for a good while, and
Mhm.
Blackheart Saints was trying out bass players at that time, and they were trying out Arturo, And when they were looking at the videos of Arturo playing, which was with Rockstar Riot, they noticed me because I'm a crazy dude. But they noticed me on the videos that they were checking out of Arturo. So when it came down to like finding a drummer, which wasn't too long after Arturo's tryout, um, they saw me and they kind of like asked around. There's this bass player that filled in with Blackheart Saints for every now and then, and he's actually a good friend of mine, Steph, and he's actually based in San Antonio. Also, he played with like Nancy Silva, and I think he played with Stabbing Westward, I think, for a little bit, which is. I mean, you probably won't recognize the name, but if I played you a song, you'd probably recognize it because they've been all over the radio. But they asked him about me, and he was like, "Dude, if there's a drummer that you want, it's gonna be him." So I mean, that was really cool of Steph to talk about me like that. But so they were like, you know what? That's when Josh messaged me like, "Hey, we got some opportunities for you. Let's." He invited me to that show, and then after that, he's like, "Well, what do you think?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'm all about it." So I mean, that's when we started scheduling like practice dates, and I went up to Austin to practice with them. I had like a tryout, but from what they told me, they're like, dude, he's good enough, but we just want to see if he meshes well with the band and if we get along and all that. So yeah, that's how I
Yeah,
became.
that's a good question right there. How do you go like, you could find someone that's like really good and just have them join your band, but then the chemistry is very important, right?
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, in my opinion, that's like 70% of the. Well, I guess I want to say 70%. It's just a 50-50, I
Hmm.
mean, you gotta be a good player, and to me, yeah, you gotta be a good showmanship, like go crazy. I mean, you got to be noticed with the crowd, to me, in my
Hmm.
opinion. But you got to play well, and then, but getting along with the band, that's a really big part of it. Because I mean, if you don't get along well, you're always gonna fight, or you're always gonna bump heads, and you won't agree on anything. Um, Writing songs, you're gonna always like disagree on stuff. Like it's just, it's just a big part of it.
It's a
It
team
is a big,
effort.
yeah, exactly. And then not only that, like touring, we're going to be on the road with that specific guy. And if you can't handle him now, you're definitely not going to handle him on the road.
I bet. So one thing you mentioned there is your opinion when it comes to performance. You're a big showmanship. I've seen the videos. When you play, it's not just about playing, but actually entertaining the crowd, right? That's
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
um
That's a big thing on my part. I mean, I've been to so many shows where I see drummers just sit there and just play, and they're just looking around, and they're not really feeling the music. They're just there playing the part, and I don't know. That doesn't mix well with me. I like to be out there, whether it's headbanging, making faces. You've seen all the faces I make. Half the time, I don't even know what face I'm making. I'm just making it. But my favorite thing to do is I look out in the crowd, right, and maybe like someone in the front row or two or something, and I lock eyes with them. I just make them feel like the most uncomfortable feeling that they've ever felt, and I just look at them and stare at them, and I just stay
oh
still.
my
And they're just like, I look away? Do I look at him? I mean, I don't know what to do. And I love doing that. And then that's just, that's one way to get them to not forget about you.
Was that something that the rest of the Blackheart Saints had to get used to when you first joined? Like, oh, this dude is going to do this kind of stuff.
I, I don't think, I don't think it was a factor of them getting used to it. It was more a factor of like, dang, we never had this before. So, I mean, that's cool. Like, like I think they really like encouraged it because it gets them noticed and it gets me noticed. And it just works well with like all around. And it's funny because my not my first show, but I think it was like more around like my second or third show. We played in Louisiana,
Hmm.
where my singer Josh Ross is from, and they were like the whole time we're like, oh, we're gonna break you in, we're gonna break you in. You're coming to the swamps. You're in my area now, and then like there, we partied, and on the way back, they're like. Yeah, I think you broke us in more than we broke you in. That was pretty funny.
They don't call you the animal for nothing.
Yeah, right.
Also with the touring and all that, how were those experiences with the first few shows where you're starting to mesh in? They probably had some synergy going, and then they join you. How were those first few days in the band?
First few days, like in the band, or first few days like
Yeah.
touring.
Well, let's go with the band first, and then we'll go
First,
into your
yeah.
first.
So the first few days with the band, I mean, it's fun. You know, I like I said, the whole rock and roll genre that we play is literally right down my alley, and I mean, it came easy to me, but I mean, it was really fun to be in an original band that I know is gonna go somewhere in the future, and who's you know, they're not. I'm not worried about them like messing up in a song, or I mean, even though we all mess up, but
Yeah.
you know, more on the side of, you know, playing the right notes, I guess, if you will. And it's just, it was really fun when it started, you know, and it was really, we really got along well. And, you know, and then going to the touring, that was my first time going on a tour is with Blackheart Saints. And it was really fun. I didn't know what to expect given it was my first time.
Mhm.
I kind of, I was YouTubing videos of what to expect on the road, and no one told me it was just going to be a bunch of land and a bunch of McDonald's stops. But you know, it's funny because that first tour, I brought a big old jar of peanut butter and a big old loaf of bread, and that's pretty much where that whole peanut butter thing came from our music
Yeah.
video. You know, and ever since on every single tour, I bring a big old jar of peanut butter, and I don't know, it's just, you know, easy, cheap, you know, life on the road.
At this point, it's like a good luck charm too, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of turned out to be like that. Can't go anywhere without my peanut butter, you know?
I guess the what you were mentioning is that you like that there was a sense of professionalism, you know, like
Yeah,
this is the real leagues, this is
yeah.
the real thing, you know. It's not
You're
you and your
in the big,
buddies.
you're in the big leagues now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not you and friends just practicing in your garage. It's like,
yeah,
you know, composing music, making music and touring and all that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It I wouldn't say it caught me like a deer in the headlights, but it caught me in a deer with the headlights. Or but it was, I mean, it was fun, dude. It was a good feeling to be in a band like that and to start doing what I love, you know, more than playing like in a cover band at a bar from 10 to 2 and not getting home till 5, 4 or 5, you know, because we go out to eat. I'm fat. And I mean, you know, it's really fun. It's been a good good experience so far with Blackheart Saints, you know.
So
And
happy you're able to find that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you remember, I was pretty excited in college. I was telling
Yeah.
everybody, "Hey, I joined this cool band, check them out." And but yeah, it was cool. I mean, like this with COVID, we still went to Sturgis this past what was it, August? I think it was August, and that was that was a cool experience. You know, with we played 9 shows straight, so I was tired. Um, I was tired after like the second day. You know, going months of not playing, and especially for that long, and then going like boom, just, you know, 9 shows straight in 9 days,
Yeah.
playing like 2 hours each day. I was it was tough, but we got through it, and it was fun.
It, I guess like a lot of people probably what comes to mind is those crazy stories that people talk about when it comes to touring in a rock band.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
do you have those crazy stories? Like,
I
is the
mean,
stereotype true of like
I mean,
crazy?
yes and no. Sometimes, you know, sometimes we gotta tame it down because we play at early the next day, like at Sturgis. There was a
Mhm.
time where we played at noon, but I mean, that may not be early for some, but that's definitely early for a bunch of musicians. So like, yeah, like the day before that, we had to crash out early and we woke up early, and I know we try to like I wouldn't say stay fit, but we try to stay fit. So I mean, I know our singer and our bassist, they went on a few runs in Sturgis, and they pretty good scenery out there. And but I was too sore to even move.
You
I
probably get
can't.
a good workout out of playing.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, especially a neck workout, given that I headbang all the time. And but I mean, being a drummer in general, that's a workout in itself. You know, you're using almost every muscle in your body. You know, feet, arms, legs, hands. You know, all the when you're gripping the stick and all that.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, I mean, cardio. It's a good cardio exercise. You know, being a drummer.
Like, have you seen recently one? It's not. I think it's not a documentary. It's a dramatization of Motley Crue on Netflix. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys.
the dirt.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a really cool, I guess, documentary, if you will. But
yeah.
that was a really cool movie that they put out there. It's really cool to like get to know a band even further than what everybody else knows of them. You know,
Hmm.
that was really cool.
I
And
guess that's a lot of what the image shows of like bands like yours. Like that's the crazy life they live.
yeah, yeah, for the most part, I mean, it can be like that, but I mean, sometimes like I said, we got to tame it down. I mean, you know,
Hmm.
given that we're doing all the touring on our own, you know, we don't have like a tour bus or tour driver. We have a van, and we
Hmm.
do like our singer is the one that drives the van, literally like 98% of the time. Like,
Damn.
I've only seen like Mark, our guitarist, drive like once, but but no, since it's like that, and you know, we got like a 8 hour drive the next day. We don't party all night, and we just, you know, go to bed, get our rest, and get on the road on like at 8 in the morning. You know.
Healthy rockers are happy rockers.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I mean, even though I sleep on the van most of the time. Like, oh, we're there already. Cool. I just went to bed like an hour ago. But
Is there any rituals or like any pet peeves that Nate the Animal has before a show? Like, I got to do this before I go out there or something like that. Aside from the peanut butter jar.
I I mean, the main thing with me is I need to warm up, do different rudiments. You know, have a practice pad that I bring with me on tour, and I just, you know, wherever we are, like in the van, I'll practice in the van, or if we have like a hotel room, usually we go to the hotel room, you know, get dressed, and then go back to the venue and play. So in the hotel room, I'll be practicing a little bit, you know, um, doing my warm ups, and I mean, aside from that, he gets me hyped, but I like to jump, like right before we
You
get
like
on.
to jump?
Like I'm just like jumping, you know. I got to get my blood flowing a little bit, and I mean, we all do our stretches in a funny way sometimes. And I know on one of our music videos, I think it was Alive, which
Mhm.
was shot here in Austin when we played with Steel Panther. And there's a scene on that music video where I'm going like this, and our guitarist Mark is like rubbing my shoulders as we're going. And it was funny. We're being dumb, but I mean, that's stuff we do sometimes.
When it comes to the shows, what is a very memorable show that you'll probably never forget?
Like which one?
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, I mean, that Steel Panther show takes the cake for now. You know, that Steel Panther show was pretty awesome. You know, it was just us and Steel Panther, and the crowd was unbelievable. That was probably one of the bigger crowds that we played for. I mean, besides like Oyster Bake and Sturgis. You know,
Mhm.
Sturgis was pretty big too. You know, given the traffic going there. But like at one time, that Steel Panther show takes the cake, definitely. I'm sure
Where's that show again at?
it was at what's the name of the venue? Let me see. Hold on. Me. It's Emos. There we go. Emos.
Oh, at
That's
Emos.
what it was. Emos. I don't know if I know it's on my Instagram. I'll forward it to you right now. But you can show that picture later. See
Yeah,
the
for sure.
picture that we took. It was really cool. But but yeah.
When it comes to you guys are full on band. You guys do the tours and everything. And another thing that you mentioned was the music videos. How fun is that? I sense that there's a lot of fun because your videos are so cool every time. It's great production value and it's fun. So how's that process?
It's really, it is really fun. You know, our videographer Taylor Fredericks at Static Heart Productions. I mean, we call him T Fred. You know, Taylor, but no, he does a really good job at producing the whole image. You know, and Josh and Mark, they always get with T Fred beforehand to, you know, go over the vision and go over what we want to, I guess, portray in the music video. And it's, I mean, the way T Fred does everything, it brings everything to life, and it amazes me. But it's fun, you know, and depending on how the music video is, you know, it takes multiple days to film, you know.
Yeah.
One, like on let's see, our not our first music video, but the first music video in our latest EP, the it's called Lines, and it's where we're like, you know, traveling through, I think it was, I don't know where it was at specifically. It might have been like in Fredericksburg, Texas. I have no idea, but it's in like a hill country vibe.
Yeah.
And you know, it took one day for them to go take some shots with the drone, and took another day to get us out there and to, like, you know, play. And that same day we filmed us in the van, you know, headbanging and, you know, jamming out and stuff. That you'll see it on the music video once you watch it, or once everybody watches it. But you know, that took multiple days to film. And the next music video in that little lineup is called Crazy, and that was probably the most challenging for me, because given I still work in San Antonio. I was working at LiQWYD. Well, I'm still working at LiQWYD, but I work from 6:30 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon. So I went to work, right, 6:30. I'm always tired at work because, I mean, who goes to work at 6:30 besides military? But so I worked, got off at 3:30. I drove the 2-hour drive to Austin to go film at our recording studio at 512 Studios, and we started probably about 6:30, 7ish, maybe, and we didn't finish recording until 4 in the morning. Yeah, and I still had that drive, that 2-hour drive back to San Antonio, and go to work at 6:30 the next day. So
Damn.
that was definitely challenging for me. That whole drive home was, I'm just like, just, you know, like, just staring at the road with the wide eyes open and just trying to not to crash.
You gotta get some coffee in you or something.
Yeah, I was definitely drinking Monsters and Red Bulls all night.
Did you expect that type of commitment when you joined Black Heart Saints? Like you knew
I
that.
I wouldn't say I expected the commitment once I joined them. I just feel, in general, when you're going to be in a band that's trying to quote unquote make it,
Yeah.
I think that type of commitment is kind of expected.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, you look at other big bands and they're always like, yeah, I'm traveling here, I'm traveling there. I got to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to go get on the plane at 4, or I don't know, whatever time. But
Mhm.
you know, it's just, I guess, sacrifices always got to be made when you're a musician.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah,
Indeed.
pretty much. Pretty much.
Uh, so the recording studio, how is the experience of being in the recording studio with the Black Heart Saints?
It's pretty fun. It's, you know, we write songs before we go there,
Mhm.
but our producer Omar Vallejo, he always brings even more to the table, and he can I cuss on here? I don't know if
Yeah,
I can.
dude. Yeah.
So he's always, I'm gonna fuck y'all up. So, like, so he brings different things to the table, and it's fun working with Omar. You know, it's always a party. You know, once we finish our part, like when I finish the drum parts, then boom, I get to start drinking with him. And then, so I mean, it really depends on the type of day, but like, when we're doing drums, it takes majority of the time. And then
Mhm.
when, you know, when Mark lays down his guitar riffs, and when he's done, then he starts drinking. It's kind
Yeah.
of like, we got to work hard. Then we get to play hard.
Hmm.
But it's really it's fun going into the studio with them. It's always a good time with Omar.
How's the creative process? How would you say, like, give us a little bit of insight of, you
Yeah.
know, it's a crazy process or something?
So usually what happens is Mark he records like a maybe like a riff or or maybe the whole song in general, like of what his vision is with on the guitar, and then
Oh, wow.
he sends it to us through what is it? One of the storage apps. I forgot what it's
Yeah.
called, but
No worries.
actually, I think it's more Google Drive. I think he uses, but he sends it to us so we can listen to it, and then we come together at practice and we start like playing it. Like, oh, well, this would sound here if we do this, or if we add this here, then that'll bring it more to life. Or if we add this little groove right here, it's gonna get the crowd dancing, and then we go boom, break down, then gonna get them like freaking into it. And
Hmm.
but that's how that works, and then we finish writing a song, then we bring it to the studio, and like Omar says, he fucks it up. But
What is when it comes to your work in your part, what are some inspirations that, or like people that you listen to that inspire you for your style?
so I mean, in general, my style, I would have to say, is from Shannon Larkin from Godsmack.
Hmm.
He he's inspired me since I don't even know when. I mean, since I started getting more into like drumming, and his showmanship is just perfect to me. Honestly, I mean, that's where I get a lot of my moves from. Him and Morgan Rose from Seven Dust, like their showmanship are just out of this world. And I just kind of combine them. And everyone who I talk to, they're like, dude, it's like if Morgan Rose and Shannon Larkin had a baby, it would be you. Like. But I mean, it's cool like watching them. I got to meet Shannon Larkin back in 2009 at Ozfest in Dallas,
Hmm.
and I never realized how small of a guy he is. but but it was really cool. He just told me like, don't stop, just keep going. That's all you got to do. And I mean, it's a vague quote, but I mean it worked so far. It's been working so far. Don't stop. But I would say for our Blackheart Saints style, because that Shannon Larkin and Morgan Rose is my personal style.
Hmm.
But with Blackheart Saints, I got to bring a little bit different drumming style of drumming to the table because it's more rock and roll instead of like a modern rock metal type, if you will. But there's a drummer that used to play with Buck Cherry, Xavier Muriel, and I've actually came to know him pretty well recently. And he lives here in Austin. Well, I guess I'm more in like Round Rock area, I think. But I've been hanging out with him at multiple shows here in town, and we actually played a show together. But his style of drumming is just straight up rock and roll. Like there's nothing to it, just rock and roll. And he's been a big influence on me in developing in Blackheart Saints. Because I mean, if you listen to our stuff and like from the older to the newer stuff, my style has changed quite a bit, and it's more of a rock and roll feel now. So, but yeah, Xavier Muriel takes the cake for me, man. He's been a great guy to me, and he's been a good mentor.
That's great. Oh, I was going to ask you about that. How have you grown as a musician from when your old days in cover band to now being in the Saints? Like, have you noticed changes happening with you and like you yourself as a musician?
Oh yeah, I've noticed. I mean, quite a few. I mean, my tempo always improves, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. From tempo to drum fills to not making the drum parts like over the top complicated. You
Hmm.
know, making more of a rock beat. Just doom got doom got. That's all it is for rock and roll right there. I mean, I've improved that and that. And when you simplify the drumming, in my opinion, the timing gets a little tricky. You got to be more spot on instead of when you're playing all these notes and you're kind of like spot on in a way. But I mean, from my tempo to my solos to my drum fills in the songs, like that's definitely improved. And even my knowledge on drum sets and like type of wood and type of
Mhm.
cymbals and all this different stuff, like that I learned so much throughout the past 5 or so years. I mean, um, that I mean, when we've been going to the NAMM show, which is a big one. Well, it's pretty much the biggest music convention in Anaheim, California. And the past few years we've been going, and I've been learning even a lot there. We get to
Mhm.
meet a bunch of famous people. A lot of famous people go there and they do meet and greets, or they do like small performances at different booths over there. And just talking to them, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. I'd never whatchamacallit, I didn't know a lot of stuff that I know now from the first time I went to NAM to like now. Now I have more knowledge of everything.
Mhm.
But
Uh,
yeah.
uh, it's crazy how you have to get educated to continue with the creative stuff when people would think, oh, I'm just gonna just do my thing. But as you said, you gotta keep yourself educated.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially I mean, when you meet different musicians, you don't want to be like, oh, I don't know what that is. Well, I mean, everyone knows what that is. No, just speaking hypothetically, but I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. But I mean, I don't know. It's been a good ride.
And it definitely has been like you guys being on. I think one of the craziest things that you told me was when you guys got your own day in Austin, like
Oh
Black
yeah,
Heart Sense Day. Like that was crazy to me.
yeah.
How did that happen?
That's I think my guitarist Mark set that up. I I'm not too sure how he did it, but I mean, it's really cool that Austin gave us our own day and here in Austin. Yeah. The mayor of Austin gave us our own day.
Yeah, like how many people get to say that for themselves? Like, it's Black Heart Sense Day. Okay, what day is it again? So we could
It
remember.
is let me see.
This year was the first year, or last year was the first year it happened, right?
It was last year. Yeah. Sorry. I had to my guitarist is messaging me right now. But no,
You-
it's April 12th. April 12th.
He's a busy man, people. This is ladies. This is a rock star right here that I'm talking to.
But
I like how you stay humble no matter, like, we really, like, in our friend group we really say that, like, we're like, man, Nate, dude, he just works hard and like it's going great. And it's great to see how you guys have just been in this great trajectory up. Playing South by is also probably such a huge thing too.
yeah, South by has been fun, but playing South by was actually it wasn't my first gig, but it's one of my first gigs with Black Heart Saints. It was probably like my third or fourth, but like beginning with Black Heart Saints, I was just hit with South by, and that was a really nerve-wracking time too. But but yeah, Deb, I appreciate that, dude. It's always fun seeing y'all in the frat. I mean, me being with the band and being in the music world like almost 24/7, I kind of
Mhm.
get that break to be with y'all, and at that time become like a kid again in a way, a young adult, if you will. And
What does Nate the Animal Flores do to, like, take a break from, like, music creation and like that the music world? What do you like to do to relax?
what do I like to do to relax? I mean, Netflix and Hulu, dude. Is Di-
Really?
Disney Plus, man. Disney Plus.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I like to relax, just freaking just I mean, watch different shows. The latest dude, Netflix, dude. I've been watching this show called Kingdom, and it's about like MMA fighting, and it's about like their whole story aside from MMA. Also, it's just there's like drugs involved, there's sex involved. I mean, all the good stuff.
All the
but
good
but no, dude, it's a trippy series, dude. And I mean, I'm a big guy, I'm a man, but I
Yeah.
mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't tear up a few times, But, dude, it gets freaking crazy in that series. I would totally recommend watching Kingdom. And I'm actually kind of sad to hear that they're taking The Office off of Netflix for next year, dude. I'm pretty sad about that. But
Because one of the good old ones that you could just pop in and get going and
yeah,
just relax and get a good laugh.
yeah, pretty much. I'm a big movie freak, dude. I love watching movies, and it's funny. I mean, I started working out again. I've been trying to get into that world again. You know me. I'm always off and on, dude. I get big, then I get fat, then I get big, then I get fat, dude. I hate it, dude. I hate it. But I'm trying to think of other things I like to do. I used to be in a bowling league, believe it or not.
I remember that. I actually
Yeah,
do
you remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that. That's so cool. Look, can you imagine that? Like the drummer for this rock band. Oh, I practice bowling too. I practice semi-pro bowling.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny you say that. I was listening to a podcast with Josh Todd from Buck Cherry. He's a singer. He was on a podcast, and they were asking like, "What have you been doing? Like, what do you do during your free time?" And given COVID, what else have you been doing? He's like, "Yeah, I took on tennis." No,
Oh wow.
I was like, "Whoa, that's this whole like he's filled with tattoos. He's one of the guys, one of the most filled tattooed, or I guess that's how you say it, but he has a lot of tattoos, and just seeing that guy on a tennis court, it's crazy to even think about it. And so he took on that, and for work, he took on what is it, lobotomy, I think, where you, where
Oh
you,
yeah.
where you,
Lobotomy.
you give blood and stuff. I think that's what it is.
You take out blood.
Take out blood. Sorry, yeah, not
Yeah.
take out blood.
The other
He's
way, the other
yeah,
side.
yeah. But he took on that. I was like, that's really cool that he's doing that. But I would have never thought that he would have been doing tennis and lobotomy.
It's crazy. You get to see all these other sides of rock stars.
Yeah, yeah.
Another thing that I wanted to ask is, you stay so humble, and I think a lot of fans of yours are probably getting this inside look behind you. How do you interact with your fan, like off the stage, like interact with people that come up to you? They're like, "Hey, man, like great show," and
Dude, well, I mean, being humble is just one thing. You got to be humble. Like no matter what profession you're in, or no matter what you do, you just being humble is a big thing with me. Like especially with old friends or old fans that have been with me since day one. I got to be true to them. I'm like they're always like, "Don't forget me." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not gonna forget you. Who are you again?"
I tell them that all the time.
Yeah, you're like, "Don't forget me." I'm like, "Dude, come on, no way." But no, I mean, interacting with fans is one of my favorite things. Or even being at the mall, or being somewhere public where it's not in the music world, if you will. And getting recognized. Like, "Oh, what's up, Nate?" Or, "Hey, you're the drummer, right?" Or just anything. Just it's a good feeling to like know that, and or have being recognized like that. And just me, I'm a goofy guy.
Yeah.
So interacting with fans, I just crack jokes, make them laugh. And the one thing I forgot, what's that? There's a movie out there. I think, what is it, Eddie and the Cruisers? I think, where the guy's like wailing on the guitar, dude. He's like badass, and Eddie on the movie is like, dude, you're a good guitarist, yeah, but are people gonna remember you? Like just wailing, they're gonna forget you. Like, that was a badass guitarist, all right, and then forget about him. And that's why I do different things where people are gonna remember me. And a lot of musicians could learn from that movie, Eddie and the Cruisers. I think like 2 or 3 movies out. Might be Eddie, might be 2 movies actually. But with me, I love interacting with fans. Taking pictures and all that, signing autographs and stuff.
And so moving forward, with the music and the albums, what do you hope in the future for the Blackheart Saints?
I honestly, I just hope getting bigger, well known, and playing bigger shows, bigger festivals, bigger biker rallies. Oh, I mean, I guess they don't get too much bigger than Sturgis, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, playing Sturgis and playing like Daytona in Florida, like that, those are pretty big accomplishments of mine. And but like with Blackheart Saints, I just I want to get out there more and for the world. I heard the UK is calling our name now, so
Wow, really?
yeah. Supposedly, I gotta we're all working on getting our passports right now, so hopefully
That's
that'll.
crazy cool. Getting
Yeah,
the Blackheart Saints World, the first international concert in
yeah,
the
exactly.
UK.
Yeah. Not a lot of people get to say that, huh?
That's
But
really cool.
yeah, there between that and there's also cruises that we're looking on to get on. There's like a Shiprocked, which is like it's a big cruise that you go on, and there's a bunch of bands that play, and you just go to shows the whole week, and you just enjoy the time on the sea, in the sea, whatever.
Okay, you need to talk a little bit more about that. A cruise with
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
bunch of rock bands?
yeah. If you look up Shiprocked, or I mean, there's other cruises too. I forgot, like or like the Kiss cruise, where Kiss performs,
What?
and it's just a bunch of rock and roll the whole time, you know. But they, from what I heard, dude, it's fun. You play maybe two shows out of the whole week, and you just get to go on vacation the rest of it.
That's so crazy.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
all these musicians getting paid to go on vacation, dude. Like that's a dream right there.
It's just play on a boat. Simple as that. Man, that's crazy cool, dude. And I wanna don't take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy man, but I
No,
want to
dude.
thank you for being on the show. Um, can you let us know what albums you got going on, singles, and all the music projects you got going in right now?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on the show too. But but we're recording an EP right now. We have 3 songs already recorded and pretty much done. And just like I told you earlier, that after this, I'm going back to the studio to finish the cover that we're doing on that EP.
Mhm.
The Usually I'm almost, from what I realized, and on every EP or album that we do, we always release a cover. So that's we love doing covers, especially ones that no one else really does.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I'm gonna go record that. And we just got back from Fort Wayne, Indiana, because we were part of the a master class over there at Sweetwater.
Mhm.
And so what the master
Yeah, I
class
saw that.
is,
That was so cool.
yeah. So like what it is they they teach. I mean, this time there was like, I think there was like 8 or 9. I think it was 8 students, and they teach them how to be a sound engineer. So like how to record bands. So pretty much we were the band for them to learn from. And so we recorded 2 songs, and while they learned how to record us. And so that was fun. We got 2 songs out of that. So hopefully those 2 songs will be released later next year. So that's pretty much what we have so far. And we might be going back over there to record 2 more, but we're still working out the details in that.
Mhm. Any hopeful tours or performances live anytime soon? I know COVID right now, it's in
Yeah,
holidays, not the
yeah,
best
it's
time.
really hard. It's funny you say that, but we've been doing a lot of like live streams. A lot of bands
Yeah.
get into the live streaming world, but we've been doing a lot of live streams. We did that big live stream for Harley Davidson a few months ago, and
Mhm.
um, but as far as shows go, I mean, we have that one at Rockefellers in Houston next weekend, but for 2021, it's kind of hard. I'm not sure. I got to check our calendar to see if there's anything scheduled. But as far as I know, nothing's really scheduled yet. But hopefully that vaccine comes out and we can get back to our daily lives.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Nate, Nasty Nate, the Animal Flores, where can they find you on Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff?
Let's see. So on Instagram and Twitter, it's Nate Animal, just spelled out NATEANIMAL. I had to think about that for a second. Yeah, Twitter and Instagram are the same. Facebook, just look up Blackheart Saints, and we all have the name attached. We all have the band name attached to our own name. So if you look up Blackheart Saints, the band will come out, and all of us will come out on there when you search for it. OnlyFans is Nate Animal. No, I'm just kidding. Give you all the 50% discount. No, I'm just kidding. But,
got to make some money during all this COVID.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. No. But yeah, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Let me see. I don't think I have any other like social media stuff out there that I know.
And just search up the Blackheart Saints and they'll pop up for sure.
Yeah, for sure. The Blackheart Saints or blackheartsaintsmusic.com. You can go shop there too. We have merchandise, CDs. We're doing this Christmas card thing right now where you can sign up and receive a signed Blackheart Saints Christmas card.
Nice.
So I mean that's cool for different people, and they can do that there. And yeah, pretty much YouTube Blackheart Saints. That's pretty much it. That's out there. I mean, just look up the name and we pretty much show up. Sorry, unfortunately.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show, Nate. And I want to thank you, the listener, for being listening to the show. Once again, I want to remind anyone that Your Way with Noe is available on all major streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music, as well as a video version will be available on YouTube where you could see this crazy man. Like, he is a rocker style looking dude. I promise you. So thank you for being on the show, Nate.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you guys can follow me also on Twitter and Instagram at YoSoyNoe. Noe. Simple. I know it's a tongue twister, but you guys can find it. So thank you guys so much for listening. My name is Noe, and this has been Nate, the Animal Flores Way. Thank you.